It's a beautiful day for a road trip, and my goal today is to visit a quite special place, which is called the wooden churches of the Slovak Carpathians, which are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Actually, I want to visit only one of them, the oldest one with some very special religious art inside. So let's go. This is not the church where I'm going, but driving on a narrow road in the countryside. I just saw this little church and decided to stop and have a closer look. And I guess I got lucky. I just stumbled upon this place. It is actually one of the 8 churches that are part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a Greek Catholic church of the Meeting of the Lord with Simeon. The church is known for its unique construction and for housing one of the oldest bells in eastern Slovakia. Unfortunately, you cannot see it from the outside. And the bell is dating back to 1406, which makes the church a rarity in Slovakia. And as we can see, it is very well preserved and maintained. It is clear that it is not just some open air museum, it is an active church. I actually saw some schedule of masses at the entrance. The church was built from logs and consists of a sanctuary, a nave, and a vestibule. And it is pretty small, as we can see. And I guess the community around here, the village, was and is very small, so it was sufficient, I guess. Each part of the building has a tower with a cross, and the temple, or the church, I should say, is built on stone foundations. The church towers, as well as the roof, are covered with wooden chipped shingles. So the village name is Kožany. Let's get some information here. Harvartov, Gothic Church of Saint Francis of Assisi, included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The wooden Roman Catholic Church of Saint Francis of Assisi was built in the Gothic style by the end of the 15th century. It is the oldest and the best preserved wooden church in Slovakia. The most precious parts of its interior include Gothic wing altar, the last supper painted in 1653, and a precious polychrome from 1596. So let's check it out. I'm kind of quite curious because here is the parking lot, and the only car that you see is my car. So I may have it completely to myself, assuming it's open, which difficult to say. And here to the left of the creek we can see some blue painted buildings. No idea what they were built for. Hopefully we will find out later. There is another old blue building, and here are the stairs to heaven, or at least to the representatives here on earth, the oldest wooden church in Slovakia, from 9 to 12 and from 13 to 16. Okay, so I guess the visit must be arranged, and they said maybe in this pension. Okay, I'll go there. I'll ask. Yeah, here is the UNESCO sign on the wall, and here it says National Cultural Heritage. Yeah, close.
It's amazing, isn't it? More than 500 years old, and given that they used candles and just fire to heat everything, and it never burned down in 500 years or so. It's pretty impressive. Well, I would definitely love to see the inside, but of course I understand no one will be sitting here waiting for people to come. So what I will do is I will go to that pension, restaurant, hotel slash whatever, and I will ask. The question is if anyone's there, since it doesn't seem like it's a high or low tourist season here. No tourist season at all. And even though the countryside is lovely, this is kind of a trip that people come here to look at the church, but understandably they don't stay. There's nothing else in the village. Well, according to the information over there, you could take a hike to the hills, which I guess is possible and can be nice, but there is a tough competition in the countryside. You can take very nice hikes almost everywhere here. The door is opening just for me.
A ako stolíku máme audionahrávku, si môžete vypočuť a potom doplním.
Since the building material is wood, the ceiling is also from wood. What else? Constructed in the late 15th century, it is considered the oldest and one of the best preserved wooden churches in Slovakia. The architecture reflects a Gothic style with a tall, narrow structure, slim rectangular windows, and a steep roof, which is unusual for a wooden church. But the most art and decorations are on the walls, and it is richly decorated, especially if you consider that this was a church in a small village in the countryside. No rich sponsors or benefactors or large landowners who would donate to the church. There are some rare wall paintings added during the Reformation period in 1665, and these paintings depict scenes such as Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and Saint George and the Dragon, and a panel painting of the Last Supper from 1653. The wood was used in the construction, as I mentioned several times already, but the floor is made of stone, unlike most other wooden churches. So it is kind of special in several ways. Now let's have a look around and let's admire the art on the walls. Maybe it's not shiny and it doesn't have any rich gold-plated art, this church, but I still think it's spectacular and definitely worth visiting. Just consider that this was a church of the people who lived in the village and worked. So it was not some glistering cathedral somewhere in a big city with many people donating, and that's basically how it was. The people of the little community built the church and used it.
The lady who opened the church for me said that I can go and have a look at the two of those little blue houses, and as I guessed, she said those uh, used to be used for storage, grains and stuff, and on the upper level, and lower level potatoes and stuff like that. Sometimes they kept animals there as well. And she said two of those houses are open, so I can just go in and have a look. Oh wow, and they even looks like they even lived here or worked here. I see sewing machine, some boots, some furniture, and here I guess was the storage for wheat, rye, grains, whatever they were uh, growing. Very nice. So let's close the door. Wow! And let's check the next one, because she said two of them are open to public and the rest of them are still in private hands. People are using them, so you cannot just go and poke around. Okay, next. Similar in every way. Here above, storage for grains and such. Interesting thing is, I asked the lady who let me in how many people come here, and she said around 2,500 a year only, and most of them are foreigners like Koreans, Japanese, Germans, French and such, but very few people from this country, Slovaks, come here. She said it was different during the COVID, since people could not really travel, so they had a increased number of domestic visitors, but once COVID was over, it died down. It's a very cool place. I mean, look at it. UNESCO World Heritage Site visited by only 2,500 people a year. Man, you come here, you have it for yourself. And by the way, the church is still used occasionally. For example, she said they have a wedding there this evening. So it's used on one-off occasions. There is no regular service, nothing like that, but still it's used. And if you are getting married or you want to have your child baptized, if you are Catholic, you can do it here in this church. Folks, I hope you enjoy this little side trip in eastern Slovakia. Thank you for watching. Take care and have a good day. See you next time. Bye bye.